I woke up with a sore throat this morning. Yeah, so it's only a matter of time. The next couple of days, when I get sniffly, when I get a cough, when I get congested, I start feeling a little bit nauseous, on and off. So all I've got to say is, please pray for me, because this will be a rough few days. Speaking of praying, blasphemy. Have you done it? Because I probably have, I assume. I don't know. What counts as blasphemy? What counts? Saying the Lord's name in vain, saying you hate him, I assume stuff like that, going against the 10 Commandments, all that jazz, you know? And I'm no expert on what's blasphemy and what's not blasphemy. I was kind of brought up Catholic, I went to Catholic school. I wouldn't technically say I really, am Catholic anymore. I guess technically on my birth certificate I am, but I don't go to church anymore. I don't do these things that practicing Catholics would do. I'd say I'm more the agnostic type, the coward's atheist. And like I said, I'm not an expert on what's blasphemy and what's not blasphemy. I'm sure there's some technical things here and there. But I don't think you have to be an expert to figure out that this is blasphemy. And you may be saying, what's this? Well, dickhead, it's in the title. AI Jesus. Specifically AI Jesus chatbots. Now, to be fair, it's not just happening with Jesus, it's happening with a lot of different religious figures. But this was the one that kind of caught my eye. Like I said, I'm not really religious, I don't shit my pants every time, some singer or whatever wears devil horns, I don't really care. I'm not scared of what I perceive to be mostly mythical. Like, I don't think I'm going to be smited down if I go as riffraff to a costume party, for example. I'm not too worried about that. I don't think that's going to happen. But when I saw that there's AI Jesus, and people are paying for AI Jesus, I think it's the first time, maybe ever, I was offended in like a religious way. I was like, oh, I physically, I don't like that. I'd like a physical reaction to that. I'm like, why are you selling this product? Like, again, I'm no expert, but I don't think Jesus is supposed to be sold as a product. Whether you believe in him or not, I think we can all agree on that. But the people who don't agree, tech billionaires, what a surprise. The tech bros, they just can't help themselves. They can't just have their grubby mitts on one or two things. They've got to be in everything. They've got to have every hand in every pie. They've got multiple hands and multiple pies. It's enough. No more pies for you. You're too fat. Anyway, I've pulled up an AP article to find out, what does AI Jesus do? Does he tell me stuff about the Bible and all that? I assume so. For some evangelical Christians, faith is about having a personal relationship with Jesus. Evangelicals, at $1.99 per minute. $1.99 per minute to talk to fake Jesus. Are we for real? And people pay that. Listen, we've been in a cost of living crisis for some time now, but some of that might be on us. You're like, I can't pay the bills, but I'm also paying $1.99 per minute on AI Jesus. The tech company, just like me, is taking that concept to a new level. Yes, they are taking it to a new level of blasphemy. Users of the platform can join video calls with an avatar of Jesus generated by artificial intelligence. Like other religious AI tools on the market, it offers words of prayer and encouragement in various languages. With the occasional glitch, it remembers previous conversations and speaks through not quite synced lips. I'm not too worried about the glitches in the system, I'm more thinking about the ethical aspect of it. I feel like you're taking advantage of people, especially people who may not be all there. Some religious people, not all, but some can definitely be on the how do I say this kindly, the loopier side. Sorry, that's the kindest word I could find. Okay, I tried. You do feel a little accountable to the AI, CEO Chris Breed said. They're your friend. You made an attachment. I don't really have much to add to that except your last name's Breed. The rush to create a faith-based generative AI is unsurprising, considering the amount of money you're going to make. That better be the next part of that sentence. If it's not that, you're lying. Given the popularity of chatbots for everything from therapy to medical advice to companionship and romance. You know what? I think you're converting me to religion because we are living in hell. This is hell. How do we get off this plane? Because this is hell. There shouldn't be such thing as a therapy chatbot. There just shouldn't be. There shouldn't be such thing as an AI Jesus chatbot. There shouldn't be such thing as a romantic chatbot. There should be none of these things. What I'm describing here is hell. They range from alleged Hindu gurus and Buddhist priests to AI Jesuses and chatbots akin to OpenAI's ChatGPT for Catholics. What do you mean alleged Hindu gurus? They're not like impersonating like an actual Hindu guru. They're just like making up some guy's name, putting it into like an Indian name generator and going, yep, he's Indian sounding, so we're going to just call him a Hindu guru and call it a day. As religious AI tools become increasingly common, many people are reckoning with how these technologies shape their relationship to faith authority and spiritual guidance. You know, you don't have to reckon with it. It's already been fucking reckoned with. You know why? That book that you follow, I believe they call it the Bible. There's stuff in that kind of talks about stuff like this. There's also a commandment, something about, you know, false idols. You're talking to a false prophet, a false idol. That's what you're doing. That's against the commandment. I don't know which number it was. It's one of the 10. A faith-based AI gold rush. Those words should never be in a sentence ever. It's just I don't like it. Christian software engineer Cameron Pack, you heathen. You're a heathen. You pray at the altar of money. Developed criteria to help believers interrogate apps designed for Christians. Like that it must clearly identify itself as AI and must not fabricate or misrepresent scripture. I don't think the misrepresentation of scripture is the biggest issue of this whole thing, but you know, it's definitely up there. But I'm pretty sure like the biggest issue if you're going from a Christian perspective would be, you know, making money off a fake idol, which is fake Jesus. It's not actual Jesus. I'm pretty sure it was somewhere in James 4:17. He said you can't be doing that. So don't look that up, but I'm pretty sure it's something like that. There are other deal breakers. AI cannot pray for you because the AI is not alive. Pack also developed a website featuring curated Christian apps that he believes meet the criteria, including a sermon translator and an AI coach designed to help users overcome lust. Okay. I don't know about that lust one. Seems a little sus. What are you trying to say, buddy? Christians can't keep it in their pants? Wow, way to generalise. Some models have been shut down or overhauled because they generated misinformation or raised worries about data privacy. Of course they did. These things are scams. They're scamming you, not just out of money, but out of your data. Can't you see that? Aside from practical concerns, people from many faiths are grappling with larger philosophical questions about what sort of role, if any, AI should play in religion. I'll just finish the debate right here. It shouldn't, probably. I think that's, like I've said, it just doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel ethical. I'm not even religious and I'm saying that. I just, you know, I don't see how you can think from a religious perspective and go, yep, AI Jesus, that's fine with me. Islam, for example, has prohibitions against representations of humanoids, prompting discussion among some Muslims about whether AI in general should be forbidden. Hey, I'll give it to them, that's my position. AI should be killed. Well, I don't think they said killed, I think just forbidden. But, you know, I'm happy with killed. I'm happy with that word. One of the company's endeavours is Magisterium AI, a chatbot trained on 2,000 years of Catholic information, made in response to Christians using ChatGPT for religious guidance. That as well just doesn't seem by the book, does it? No pun intended. There's got to be other ways. There's got to be other ways to, you know, seek spiritual guidance that isn't ChatGPT. I mean, surely, you know, I off the top of my head, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't know, maybe the book you probably have in your house, the big one, the Bible, or the guy that gives those things at the big house with the stained glass. You know, talks, I believe, TED Talks, something like that. That's another way to do it. I think ChatGPT should be, you know, not even on the list. While Pope Leo has acknowledged the human genius behind AI, he's also deemed it one of the most critical matters facing humanity. Last year he warned artificial intelligence could negatively impact people's intellectual, neurological and spiritual development. I believe we call that brain atrophy, and a lot of people have that. I think the AI Jesus is kind of like another step again of like the TV, you know, evangelicals who just kind of like preach and ask for money and then, you know, they're able to buy their private jets and everything. I think it's just like another step up from that. It's just another way for these scammers to kind of grift money out of people. So that's probably also another reason why this thing just shouldn't exist. So to answer the question, is AI Jesus good or bad? Bad, obviously. I think I made that pretty clear. But anyway, like and subscribe. You don't have to pay $1.99 per minute to see me on YouTube. It's free. Which, thank God, because otherwise no one would watch me.
I love Shifty Drongo. Shifty Drongo.